WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, sit down, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 14 minutes on to the hour of 9 o'clock. Dr. Gerald Thompson inside studio with us. And of course, it's now time for his commentary this morning. Good morning to you, Doc.
Good day again. Yesterday, in a quiet moment, I was listening to this radio station, Cecil and P. John, and I heard something I'd been tracking and was very pleased. And they played and draw attention that on Wednesday last week, March the 25th, 2026, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a historic resolution spearheaded by Ghana, the president of Ghana, that designates one, the transatlantic trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement as the greatest crime against humanity. And, sometimes for some people, these things bring tears to the eyes, but it brought a smile to my face and made me feel good for the day. The details of the resolution and the vote was the outcome of the resolution A/AT/L48, as it's called, passed with 123 countries in favor. 3 countries voted against. That was the United States, Israel, and Argentina. And I couldn't quite understand Israel, who had gone through what was considered a Holocaust, could ever vote against those particular type of things. But I don't know if it was just allegiance and support. And Argentina, whose leader tries to say he's the second Donald Trump, similarly. But there were 52 abstentions, including the United Kingdom and all members of the European Union. There are 27 countries in the European Union, which is half of, just over half of 52. So there was another 20-something countries that also abstained and were not part of the European Union. The significance of this, the resolution is, of course, not legally binding, but carries significant political weight in these times. It advocates 1, reparatory justice; 2, urging UN member states to consider apologies and restitution of cultural artifacts and compensation for the historical injustice of slavery. The Ghana president, Ghana's role, Ghana led the diplomatic campaign with President John Dramani Mahama, who was elected in January of 2025, but this was his second term, in that he had been previously elected, lost, and won again, And speaking on behalf of, it was said, and I queried this, on behalf of 54 member African groups, yes, and highlighting that the consequence of slavery continue to fuel racial inequalities today. So it was led by the African Union, and I hesitated a little bit, but then it added CARICOM and other groups, because clearly in the past, it had seemed to me that Africa didn't seem this was an important issue for them, But the fact that they're leading it and that it's certainly an important issue in terms of CARICOM and persons living in the diaspora. The opposition of the U.S. representative urged against the resolution, citing concerns about cynical uses of historical wrongs to reallocate modern resources, while the EU raised the legal concerns about applying international law retroactively. And so it went on. But this is going to be really important. And at the end, the president of Ghana said that there's no better way to honor the forebearers. And then he touched on one of the forebearers, Toussaint Overture of Haiti. And so it brought it home that this was not an African issue alone, but one that really, truly was the African diaspora as well. And that it wasn't just the British, it was also the French and the Dutch and so forth. So I say that the UN adopting this historic resolution declaring slavery a grave crime against the human rights violation, it is something that I see coming home. And really, this has been a long time coming.
All right. I suppose for me, the question would be what happens next? What comes out of this? Because, statements are made, yes. And I know that you listed a few there, but what happens next? Or what should we expect to happen next?
You see,
acknowledging it is one thing, but what does that do for...
You know something? Have you ever been in a relationship with another person, your wife, and something's gone upside down, Maka, and then the person comes back and says, you know what? Sorry, I was wrong. And then you say, so what? You're telling me sorry now? You understand? It may not go far, but for some people, it's such a big step. It's an initial step because it allows you then to go through the next gate. And list those other gates that you can go through. It will open up that process. So 25 years ago, there was no way we're going to discuss this. When Prime Minister Cameron of the UK said, yeah, I acknowledge it, but we can't do anything about it. Things are moving in a particular way that only 3 countries vote against, others abstain. That's a big step, a giant leap.
And those that abstain are those who we probably need to hear from the most, not so, because they are the ones who caused us to be colonized in the first place.
Well, the point is that
and what does
the one who abstained, so they've gone a long way. They've moving from voting no to abstaining is something that is an intermediate step. It's a short step, but it's a step. That's the point. Maka, I don't know if you what I'm saying. Right?
All right, we see somebody calling. Let's see what their thoughts might be on this.
Hello, good morning.
Dave Roberts.
Hello, good morning.
Dave, listen to your phone. All right. Yeah. All right. All right. I suppose in everything there is always a first step. But for me, I'm more concerned with outcomes.
This is not the first step. There have been many first steps. A lot of people have died and so forth in Ghana, in Nkrumah. All these people have been many steps. But this is a leap. This is a leap in my view. In athletics, you have a sport, a hop, step, and a jump, the long jump, and a hop, step, and a jump. This is a big step. We need to jump from there.
Now, what I would like to say is many of our artifacts being returned. is the British Museum is what is
the label, Chateau's ladle.
Well, right, but and it's not just what is there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but for all the other colonies that they had.
Yeah.
That their artifacts, those national artifacts, be returned.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they in British museums? What happened to those of us here who may never get the opportunity to go to England to see many of these things, And again, it's the colonizer who abstained. What is going to be the spill off from this? We talk about reparations, but I've always questioned how would this reparation actually work? If we receive money, how are you going to? I just have questions.
Well, it does raise a question. Before, I had always thought it was going to be the Caribbean that is going to be the beneficiary. But hey, Africa is saying, listen, you took away so much of our people. We want compensation for it. And you took artifacts as well. And there being larger countries, millions of people, as opposed to hundreds of thousands of people in the Caribbean, in each island, that disproportionately, compensation and all these other things may be one-sided in some respect. But we also have the case of what happened with Garifuna and so on, and that adds to the picture. It's very, very complex. But countries who might be affected would be fearful of what the damage might be. So it requires leaders in those countries to emerge who will start to push. And I think that this is a big leap. I think this UN resolution doesn't end it. I think it propels it, that you will then see lobbying and so forth being done. It'll be more than discussion. It will be active.
Yeah, and you really think that twisting their hands enough that they are going to, let's say in the case of reparations, that we are going to get it?
When we had a discussion in Parliament, I contributed to that debate. And I contributed from a health point of view. A lot of our illnesses, in terms of high blood pressure, and so that's gone down through the years, has been as a result, as linked with transatlantic slavery.
That's it, that's gone. And I think there's something that's true.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Roleza.
Morning,
My dear
Kojo.
lady. How are you? I'm not attacking you this morning.
That's okay, girl. Let me hear.
I'm just saying the acknowledgement of the wrong is of great importance.
Yeah, but Kojo, remember I'm saying the acknowledgement, we did not say the acknowledgement by the persons who should actually be acknowledging. Those who abstained are the ones.
I'm getting there.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to give the reason why those countries, not so America and Argentina, because I don't know if you know the whitewashing of Argentina, what they did to the black folks in Argentina. They really whitewash. They try to clean up Argentina, all blacks. America don't want to admit to that wrong in a full way, because they know that they've been, of all countries in the world, America probably benefit the most from slavery.
How you come by that though?
Because most of America was built on free labor.
That's it.
Free labor.
Yeah. England and America built on free labor. If you don't have to pay wages, Roleza, right? And you basically build up a fortune. If you're able to cultivate and you have to pay, or you just keep them in some chattel and so forth, give them some salt, pork and salt, fish and that sort of thing, and that's it. Okay. You can make a profit.
All right, Coach.
Roleza, in the 60s, a lot of things just changed. So you know how much years America will benefit? The 60s is just yesterday now. Basically, in its sense of even though slavery was abolished, the system was designed to keep you still in a situation where they make you.
Okay, so I get your point in terms of how you extended it. All right, so I take that. But So you think that this is a monumental what's the word I would probably want to use there? That this is something to be fully recognized and maybe celebrated in terms of the UN resolution that was passed?
I mean, how long have we been fighting for at least an acknowledgement that slavery actually happened?
But you see, Kojo, the reason why it is that I am maybe a little bit hesitant, right? Is that the acknowledgement isn't coming from if the countries who are supposed to have voted on it, they've abstained. In the context of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the rest of the Caribbean, they have abstained. So they're not necessarily acknowledging it. This is the UN, the overall body is acknowledging it. Are those majority countries that voted? But who are we supposed to hear from? We didn't hear from.
Ronisha, a lot of times, you all know that yes,
But Kojo, that is like Maka apologizing for me rather than me apologizing to you directly or acknowledging that I did something wrong.
But Kojo and Roleza, why I think it is why I brought it up is largely because the alternative, as you said, you're hesitant, is to say, let me say nothing too. Let me sweep this under the carpet as if nothing has occurred. Let's forget about it for a while to see if someone else brings it up. Let's observe. But what it does, it builds momentum to be able to go on. You understand? And it is not a situation that it is swept under the carpet and you're waiting for Maka to apologize. So therefore you ain't say anything, right? And it builds up. You basically could go with the momentum that something has been done.
I can look at it as being a first step, but I want to see what's going to come out of it.
You want to see, you want to do nothing until you see.
Who, me, in terms of acknowledging it?
I'm saying you want to do nothing until you see. You want to wait till you see. So if it takes 6 months, me do nothing. But in the meantime, are you
before
pressed?
I can become fully excited about it or full recognition of it.
The other, listen, really, sir. The other persons, Kojo, myself, and Maka, will push in the meantime. So when we get something, we may not get your help pushing, but we'll push at the same time. Maybe we might get the door open a little more. We might need you to help us with some extra strength, but you're waiting to see if we push it open before you help. Or before you say, good job. Before you say good job.
I am waiting to see that those who are supposed to be telling us the true sorry, tell us the sorry.
But we pushing them.
Roleza,
yes, Kojo. Yes, Kojo. Like I had a child this morning, not true? Tell me.
When Harriet Chapman first ran away and got freedom for herself, she decided that she was going back to her family. If she had just assumed that, okay, I'm going to take this little victory and be content, it's okay for her, but the rest of the people know. So sometimes you have to take your little doses, your little wins.
The little victories.
And your little victories, because the fight is not over, you know. Yes, that 120 people, countries saying yes. The people are saying, you know, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes your nose could be a yes.
Kojo, I think Roleza is saying she wants 100% vote. And anything less than 100%.
No, what I am saying.
Listen. Those other 52, those other 52 could even vote. If Israel, America, the United States, they vote.
I'm not studying them.
You did. You are studying them. You studied them.
I'm not studying those who said no. I am studying those who fell under the category of abstaining because they're the ones who should have said something.
You're talking about the UK.
I am. Correct.
And the UK did say something. The UK did say something. Do you know what the UK said?
Don't go for that UK lady because that African woman from the UK.
So you understand why it is I am just here like, okay?
She should just keep her mouth shut, eh?
Yeah. Yes.
That's the African woman, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, we have a comment to read. We have a comment to read. Some from a contributor. So yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Kojo.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kojo.
Oh, yeah. Kojo, we apologize. You see, no, I am going to apologize to Maka.
Yes, and you should.
That was our error.
So you should, because it could come across as if you did it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So you did two things. You apologized to Maka, but you're also throwing Maka under the bus.
She apologized to me.
Yeah, because I'm not there at this switch. So you see who's supposed to make the direct apology? It didn't come from, but we said it. Anyhow, so somebody is here saying to Doc, please remind Thompson that the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK, a black woman from Nigeria, Lemi Badnoch, said that the Labour government led by Starmer, a white Anglo man, should have voted no. All right. So you kind of understand. Anyway, all right. I think I've said enough.
Yes, yeah, but you
I've
see,
said enough.
but you see, we do a bit of this, you know. We disregard the yes, and we start to focus a lot more on the no.
And
it's important to do so.
Who is the meaningful apology supposed to come from?
Yes, it's supposed to come from. However, just what you just said there. She said the leader of the government should have voted no. He did not vote no. He did not vote no. He abstained, which could be considered like a no, but it could also be considered, it could possibly become a yes. And that is what we got to pick up on. You understand?
So look at everything in a positive light.
No, okay. No. Let's look at it in a negative light. Let's look at everything in a negative light. If not in a positive light, let's look at it in a negative light.
I'm not saying that.
No, you're not saying that, but
okay.
that's a suggestion. The thing about it is that this was a giant leap. And I think that the coalition of the willing, let's put it that way, of the 120-something votes can press, and the entities who are there, there's going to be the opposition saying you should have voted no, but then guess what? There's going to be people who will say you should have voted yes. And that will also weigh heavily on Starmer, that the next time around, and pressing him and so forth like that, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think? He may eventually start coming around and give a soft yes, and then a moderate yes.
But look at your choice of words. He may. Oh gosh, but I have to say that because I'm not. So you're being hopeful. So it goes back to what I'm saying, being hopeful.
I'm not Starmer. It's not only being hopeful. Yes, you're hopeful as opposed to sweeping on the carpet and say nothing will come of this. So let me just nabada. Nabada. Let's not push. You know. Let me not help push. You understand? And what I'm saying is that let's not be pessimistic about it.
I was just going to say I'm not a pessimist,
No,
but
no,
I might be looking at it through realistic eyes. Okay, that's just
right,
probably
that's
what
right.
it is.
Maybe I use that word. I didn't want to use the word pessimist because I know you're not a pessimist, but we want your help. and coming around, really, that everybody thinking, this is possible. It's possible. Let's help push. When St. Vincent got in the Security Council, people said that's a joke. It ain't gonna happen. People pushed and finally got through. If you're running a race, and you finally win the race, there are people in the crowd pushing you, cheering you on, pushing you. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Never mind.
No, I see somebody, but I would say that's what we feel. I don't want the person to misinterpret what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying that the acknowledgement or the resolution isn't a step, right? What I'm saying, what I am focusing on is who is should have said something,
you know
them
something,
abstaining.
you know something,
right? That's what I'm saying.
Listen, and as the leader of the Conservative Party said, they did not say no. That is the important thing.
So we're looking at the glass with the half full concept, right?
You know, the glass being half full, half empty is at a period of time, it is half full, half empty. But at other point in time, it was only quarter full, or it was a little piece of thing. At other time, it's almost empty.
All right.
So at what stage it is in Pierre Starmer's mind, we can't say it is at 50%. It is, I think it is, the train is rolling, you know? There's some momentum here. Don't stop the momentum. That's the point that's been made.
Okay. All right, folks. I see persons are calling. We will take this off and talk to us. For those of you who have an opinion on this particular topic, let me probably go eat. Tracy, go get something to eat because I don't. All right.
You had to eat for this? You had to eat for this?
But I feel
no,
just
man.
in case.
Come on. Really,
all right.
listen.
No, because I recognize.
Listen, help push the thing, no, man.
Right, no, it's not a matter of helping to push.
Don't be skeptical and as you say, you're not a pessimist. I don't believe you're a pessimist. Push.
Doc, I am a person who, all right, so yes, I know that mouth action has to happen before actual action, but I just don't like all the talking that happens, right? And unless that I am actually going to be a show that there is going to be something coming out in a sense, then
you are an action person. You want action and no talk, right? So this was talk, right? And so if he had said, you know what, yes, that would have been action. That would have been action or talk. If he say yes, you know,
it's the acknowledgement from who it's supposed to come from. That is the point that I'm making, and that's what it is that I'm going to stick with. All right, so let's take a quick break and be back with more Activated Mornings. We bring to you talk to us maybe around 9:25 thereabouts. All right, so we're heading on out.
Nothing else sounds as good as